The planet is filled with incredible places, yet each year there are fewer of them. Beautiful cities inevitably transform, overwhelmed by the pressures of mass tourism. I absolutely love traveling this planet, and more often, I ask myself, how can we keep balance in a world where tourism knows no limits? And I think I found the answer in a little-known Mexican town called Bacalar. This town truly amazed me. It's close to major tourist cities and airports that bring in huge numbers of visitors every year. Yet, at the same time, it has a thriving ecotourism industry and many unique businesses operating under fascinating rules, ones I haven't seen in most other tourist destinations. I believe it's a fantastic example for the whole world. I only recently discovered Bacalar while traveling through Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. I visited popular destinations like Cancun, Playa del Carmen, and Tulum. I spent a lot of time in Yucatan, talking to a number of businessmen, developers, restaurateurs, real estate agents, and locals. Many of them told me that mass tourism has significantly affected their way of life, and not always for the better. I was advised to visit Bacalar, a town I had never heard of before.
Bacalar is kind of what Tulum was maybe 10, 15 years ago. Is a place in order to get that completely non-developed kind of energy.
Bacalar is one of those beautiful places on earth that I've ever seen.
I should go to Bacalar.
Bacalar, today.
Today. All right.
People compare it to what Tulum was like 15 years ago. They say it follows a different set of rules, ones that aren't as reliant on mass tourism, unlike most resort towns in Yucatan. I took off and came here, and I discovered a completely different world. Bacalar isn't on the Caribbean Sea, but it's embraced by a stunning azure freshwater lagoon. It's a peaceful town, just a 2-hour drive from Tulum. There are no giant holes, shopping malls, or supermarkets. It has everything you need for a comfortable life. Wanting to learn more, I set out to talk to the locals.
"24 years ago was a very small town. It didn't have not even streets. It was dirt streets, you know. So it was very virgin and magic. So little by little, it's been growing. But to be honest, since 6 or 10 years ago, it started getting bigger and bigger. Since the pandemic, also start getting more people are interested and coming.
I think that Bacalar still is a really small community. Of course, we don't have like all the commodities that you will expect in other places. But I think that you have like a really good life overall with small places, with a nice place to have a drink. The food is getting better and better. I think that Bacalar have a unique lifestyle. I love boats. I love the opportunity to go sailing, and the nature of this place is amazing. Curve of water that have the same colors of the Caribbean, but soft water is something that you can't find in a lot of places in the world.
They call it the Lagoon of the Seven Colors because it changes the colors when the clouds pass by and how deep it depends how deep it is. And we really care about the lagoon. It's very fragile. It has its own way of healing. It's very magical, but at the same time, it's very fragile. The stromatolitos. I don't know if you know a little bit about it. Well, the stromatolitos are, let's say, like living rocks that produce oxygen. They are in very few places in the planet, Australia, here are the biggest in sweet water. It's a theory that says that we come from them because it's the oldest thing ever found and they take millions of years to grow. That's why we really care about the lagoon.
All of the water of Bacalar is getting out. So this is very important when the lagoon is getting cleaned up. This channel over here, they say that the pirates used to come from here to come steal
treasures.
The treasures back then.
No?
The treasures back then were special kind of wood and chicle, which is the sarp of one of the chicozapote, yeah, from that tree. And this is why exactly here in the front, you can see the fort. The fort was there to protect from pirates, and this is why the only way for them to come in from the sea. These posts over there.
It's the post?
Yeah, these posts were supposed to protect from big boats of pirates. So only small boats can come in. Just turn around and look at this thing. It's beautiful. It's nice. I like it that it's a village. You know everybody around. I walk everywhere. I don't even use the car at all. This really good mixture between like Caribbean, but also it has, I don't know, it's not salty water. I see it like also the next big boom that will come up here.
I've traveled to nearly 70 countries, and I've always been fascinated by how our world is changing and what the future of travel will look like. Tourism has become accessible to millions of people. This is evident from a new record set by Flight Radar. Last June, the service recorded an all-time high of 23,158 flights in a single day, more than ever before in recorded history. The pandemic temporarily slowed tourism, but in just 5 years, the industry made a full recovery. In 2024, international travel reached nearly 1.5 billion trips, 99% of pre-pandemic levels. And this is just the beginning. International travel is expected to grow even further in 2025. In January alone, record-breaking numbers were seen in Vietnam, Malaysia, and South Korea. Thailand also set a new milestone. For example, Phuket welcomed 650,000 tourists that month, the highest figure in the island's history. Many countries strive to set new records and attract as many tourists as possible, as mass tourism significantly benefits the economy. However, if poorly regulated and allowed to develop chaotically, it can become harmful and dangerous. Overtourism has a detrimental impact on the environment, leading to pollution and the destruction of natural habitats. For example, in recent years, the coral reef area in the Red Sea off the coast of Egypt has decreased by an average of 13.5%, primarily due to overtourism. The economy is becoming increasingly reliant on tourism, with local incomes often being seasonal. For example, in recent decades, around 200,000 jobs in Spain's Balearic Islands have been directly linked to tourism, making up about 25% of the economy. Likewise, the historic center of Venice, home to roughly 50,000 residents, sees around 20 million tourists each year. The list could go on, but ultimately, some of the world's most beautiful places are turning into uninhabitable zones.
It's que Tulum is in the moment that it's impossible to back, you know? Because have many developers only thinking in the money, destroying the jungle. For me, for Tulum, it's enough. All the developers need to stop. All the jungle is in construction, you know, in the beaches, in all the time. Many people coming to parties, to make business, but all the people forgot the natural power in Tulum. More or less 4 years ago, when I arrived here in Tulum, 1 year arrived, some client called us to develop some project in front of the beach and in the mangrove. What happened here in this context? You have the sea, the beach, and the mangrove is like a barrier for the protection from the hurricanes. And if you cut the mangrove, you cut the barrier, and you are cutting and you are like destroying all the system. And this client want to create like a spa of the mangrove, you know? And when I went with him to the location, I said, that is not possible, you know, because it's contradictory. Playa del Carmen was like Bacalar, you know? The 5th Avenue was a mangrove. And right now, it's a big problem in the hurricanes because they cut the protective from the hurricane. The mangrove is the main protection from the hurricane because the nature is super smart. But what happened? The human cut it, all the mangrove.
The same as I said in Playa, there's the Hyatt thing, then there's Calle Corazon, where it was a beautiful, beautiful little street that you would see with trees, and they were decorating all the trees and really like appreciating it. But then big hotel came and just tore it all down, made a 5 stories hotel, and I guess this is how evolution of the city works, but I really hope that here won't happen, and we're really trying to make it like that.
No matter how much the local community tries to shield Bacalar from mass tourism, its boom is inevitable. While the town was once accessible by only 2 roads, the situation has now changed. The town sits between 2 relatively large airports. The first is Chetumal Airport, located right next to Bacalar, and the second is Tulum International Airport, which opened in late 2023. But the biggest change is the Maya train, a railway completed last year spanning the Yucatan Peninsula with a stop in Bacalar. This means that tourists arriving in Tulum, Playa, or Cancun can now hop on the train and explore exciting new destinations. One of them is Bacalar, a stunning town on the Azure Lagoon, an attraction visitors won't want to miss. As a result, this once charming town could soon resemble a second Tulum or Playa. However, the locals remain unfazed by this prospect, which genuinely surprised me.
Do you think that mass tourism could kill Bacalar as well?
It'll be harder because, if you know, Playa and Tulum didn't have much of a strong community before it became big. It wasn't a village for a very, very long time with a lot of bases. In Bacalar, it's different. Here there's local people and community for a very, very long time. And they have strong interest that Bacalar would stay like a village, not the Cancun style, you know?
The Bacalar people right now here is making the difference. They are building and fighting for good reasons, for don't go in the bad way as many other places. Are groups everywhere in the lagoon, and they are looking for the don't do the bad things. So if someone start to do it something wrong, it's like, everyone, please come tomorrow, 6 a.m. We're gonna make a meeting.
All the boats, if they see something happening, they all, hey, this is happening. They started to build this deck with concrete, you know, that it's not any good. And everybody started, oh, this is happening, you know, took pictures, and then everybody sent the picture to the municipio, to the government, and they stopped it 3 days after. Actually, there were 5 different associations, civil associations pro lagoon, taking care of the lagoon. And now we are very unified, trying to fight to keep it clean. For example, not long ago, the motors of the engines of the boats that are more polluted, like the ones that have combined the oil and the gas, they are forbidden now, which is very good. Now the idea is to get rid of the wet jet skis and wave runners. They are fun, but this lagoon is very fragile. Fortunately, I see it is more unified, the people here. Hotel managements and restaurants are more, not like maybe Playa or Tulum, that everyone is like on their own, you know. So hopefully we keep it that way. It's very important.
The people in Bacalar love the lagoon, love the natural context, you know, and they are working to protect it. Many big branded hotels want to come to Bacalar, but still anyone approved.
I know this person that came with this huge project, and he buy the land and pays a big amount to buy it and start selling, and then something happens, and he couldn't pay the rest in time. So the owner say, no, you know what? I see that your project is not real. You're not going to be that sustainable. So, and now it's another people that is doing a nice project, very, very low impact. So other example is the huge abandoned hotel that never could open. It was ready to open in a week and never opened.
I think there will be a very hard that brands and big corporations will come here. There's a big community and a strong appreciation for the nature. This is what we try to do in all our projects also. We try to respect the nature.
I've been in Mexico for over a month now. Cancun, Playa del Carmen, Tulum, and now I've made my way to Bacalar. This is Tulum about 20 years ago, before the crowds of tourists, when the place still had its unique charm. This is Tulum about 15 years ago, before the crowds of tourists, when the place still had its unique charm. A wonderful little village where you instantly feel at ease. And after experiencing Bacalar, I don't even feel like going back to the hustle and bustle of Cancun or even Tulum. This is probably the first place where I've truly felt the freshness of the air as I breathed it in. Being here today, I truly feel a sense of peace and harmony with nature. No crowds, no overwhelming commercialization in each and everything. Even my speech has slowed down, a rare thing for me. Bacalar is a unique town. It serves as an example that mass tourism in itself is not the problem. It's a natural part of the development of beautiful destinations. The real problem arises when tourism grows unchecked and becomes overwhelming. But rather than resisting it, the people of Bacalar had taken a smarter approach, fostering conscious and sustainable tourism in the region. Simply put, sustainable tourism means traveling in a way that respects both nature and culture. It considers the well-being of tourists, local communities, and the environment alike. In Bacalar, tourists are offered eco-tours such as kayak and sapboard rides that don't pollute the lagoon. Farmers grow organic produce, and restaurants prepare dishes from local ingredients, supporting agriculture. Hostels and guest houses are also embracing eco-friendly practices. They use solar energy, collect rainwater, and strive to reduce waste.
You see habitats, for example, and Bayan Tree is here. Big projects that want to respect nature and work with it and not against it, you know?
One of the first to set the trend for sustainable development in Bacalar was Ecological Hotel. It stands as a prime example of how a successful business can thrive for decades while caring for the environment.
How do you maintain the balance between tourism and nature here?
Well, in the first place, this is very big, and we are as low impact as possible. We had 10 cabañas for 20 years, and now, since 2 years ago, we have 5 more. which is very less for all this. So, and we tell all our guests that this is our mission to be sustainable. At the beginning, we started with the solar panels only and dry toilets. We are very proud to be the only ones in the South at this time to have the certification for green terms of recycling and waste management. We're trying to use these organic materials like bamboo, coconut fiber. It's very organic and it has many qualities. It's like a dough and it's very cheap because the coconut fiber is a waste. We really love the nature. That's why our temple is called Mother Earth, to honor Mother Earth and Earth, because we really worry about this and the lagoon. This is the guardian of the Lagoon of Bacalar. The idea of the guardian is that is to honor women. Through those stairs, you can go to the head, inside the head. And it's been on for more than 5 years now.
5 years,
yeah.
and never stop.
Non-stop. So we really consider like very blessed and very powerful and a lot of prayers, as I told you. It started with the real shaman, like he was 108 years old. His name is Taita Kerubin. So since then we started and it's been on since then. As I told you, a lot of prayers and it's like our guardian.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice story.
And this temple, this is the chimney for the wood oven. All the big pieces of wood comes from a place, a cerradero called Knockbeck, that they do it the right way, they sell legally, and they reforest all the time. Well, for example, the trees we cut to build the temple, we have like more than 3,000 trees to reforest for the damage we did. And we want to tell people that this is the way that has to be done. If you cut 20, don't plant another 20, 50, 100, 300 if you can. So yeah, it's very important. And many things are recycled. We went to this place that sells in Playa. They sell marble and all these materials. And I told them, can you give us your waste? Because we are recycling and using for a project. They say, yes, we have many, but I will sell it to you. They use it to cut for the wash the sink, you know, they cut it. And so they have many, and say, well, okay, how much you want for them? Say, if you buy all of them, give me $1 for each. Say, yeah, let's do it. So we make like a mandala here. But everything, many things are like recycled, you know, even trees and stuff. It says, leave this place better than the way you find it.
Right statement.
How was everything today?
Sorry, man. Sorry. We got
Tourism isn't the only threat to unique destinations. It's crucial not only to develop it responsibly, but also to consider the impact of expat communities. Without this balance, neighborhoods risk losing their character and nature its resilience. So far, Bacalar has managed to maintain this delicate balance, a quality that makes it truly special and a model for the rest of the world. We came to pick up Ricardo. He invited us into his house, a place he built entirely on sustainable business practices, basically a eco-friendly home. He also owns a restaurant in Bacalar, and of course he insisted us to stay, treating us to cocktails. Ricardo just wouldn't let us leave. Whenever we film an interview in Mexico, we always have to add an extra hour, or 2, or 3. Friends introduce us to more friends. They welcome us as friends and eagerly introduce us to others. Each new person welcomes us with open arms.
Salud. Salud.
I was searching for the perfect place to live and considered several plots in Bacalar. When I first saw the place where my house now stands, I was completely fascinated. It's nestled in a bay where pirates once roamed, using it as a passage to the open sea. But what I cherished most was that no one else was nearby. It's a protected area, in a way. The design of my house blended perfectly with this place because I wanted to prove that sustainable development is possible even in the heart of the jungle. Through my own example, I demonstrated to future developers how to build with respect for the environment. Let me show you around. I have solar panels here, along with a wind power system and battery storage for energy. Simply put, this system converts wind and solar power into electricity, providing enough energy to run the house 24/7. And that's despite having 4 air conditioners, which is quite a lot, considering they're the biggest energy consumers in the house. The next question is water. How do we get it? In Bacalar, that's easy. We have plenty of it. We simply dug a well and we filter the water to make it drinkable. The sewage system is also simple and eco-friendly. No septic tanks involved. It's there at the front of the house.
Proper wastewater treatment is crucial for the Yucatan Peninsula. In this region, rivers flow underground, meaning any water or chemicals that seep into the soil can contaminate the water supply, harming local flora and fauna. In Bacalar's case, polluted water inevitably ends up in the lagoon as well. That's why eco-friendly wastewater treatment is so important.
The used water flows here to this wastewater treatment system. You can hear it running. That's the fan supplying oxygen to the bacteria. Yes, it's the bacteria, not chemicals, that treat both sewage and gray water. The bacteria takes just 7 days to break down solid waste into liquid. After that, the water is purified and ready for reuse. I don't reuse it, though. We already have more than enough water. Instead, I return it to the environment completely clean. People worry that the water purification unit might produce unpleasant odors. However, do you notice any? There are no odors at all. What remains after processing solid waste is just powder, which, by the way, is beneficial for plants and can be easily handled by hand. So we have self-sufficient energy, natural water extraction, and eco-friendly purification. Now, let's talk about waste management. At the entrance, we have a compact recycling plant. Here, everything gets recycled. We sort the garbage, process it, and shred it right on site. We have bins for sorting garbage into categories. On Mondays, our watchman removes organic waste. On Tuesdays, metals. And on Wednesdays, plastics. All of it is taken to designated facilities where the waste is recycled and given a second life. Naturally, like everyone else, we produce waste. However, we don't create waste just to discard it. Come on, let me show you to the bedroom. To get there, you'll have to walk through the jungle. I wanted to design a space that didn't feel like a typical city house. Something that gives the impression of being right in the heart of the jungle. Here's the view from here. Personally, I don't use the air conditioner. I just open the window and the room fills with fresh air almost instantly. I added a thatched roof, which we call zacate here. It's not just for aesthetic purposes, it also keeps the house cool and fresh. As the architect of this house, my goal was to show the world that luxury and technology don't have to be in conflict with the natural environment of your home. Instead, they can exist in perfect harmony with nature, and I believe I've achieved that.
Many developers believe that sustainable construction is costly and unprofitable. However, in reality, it proves beneficial in the long run, economically, environmentally, and in terms of reputation.
What drives you to make this business? Is it money?
No, not at all. That's definitely not, because everything that comes in goes back in. It's just a love for nature and Mother Earth. And
It's not only money, you know. The universe have an energy, a protected energy for himself, you know. And when the universe see that something is wrong, they cut it.
So sustainable, is it like more expensive than the common one, or it's not?
I'm going to tell you that to me it's more expensive at the beginning, the investment at the beginning, but in the long run, it's the other way around. For example, we find this roof that at the beginning we didn't want to use because it's plastic. At the same time, it's a recycled plastic. It's fireproof. Also, Hurricane 4 category 4 proof. If we use palapa, this we have to change all the time. The box, the filter, the filtration of the rain, and all this. And with that material, it's guaranteed for 50 years. So at the beginning, it's very expensive, but in the long run, it's very sustainable. So that's what I think about.
I think it's done thinking in the expensive of cheaper, because it's the way that you can get, you know? Like I say, I did luxury projects, you know, but in the same time, I can do social houses, you know, with the same material, with the same techniques. It's like the cell phones, you know. When the cell phone started, it was very expensive, you know, and right now, it's super cheaper, you know. When you start with an idea, it's expensive, sure, because it's one idea, you know, but time at the time will be more like cheaper.
We have to take care of this beautiful lagoon, because in the future, if we don't take care of it, it's going to take it back. And what happened in the north with the Sargasso, even here it happened before. Saying, if you don't take care of me, I can get green or brown or something, you know. So.
How do you see Bacalar in 10 years from now?
What we see and what I see in terms of tourism, this place is perfect, and it will be one of like globally interest in sports, like aquatic sports. So if it's paddleboard or sailing, any kind of thing that has to do with the lake. Since this place is so special and there's not like this in the world, like a sweetwater lagoon that looks like the Caribbean, I really see it going up in terms of luxury businesses, really, really boutique, nice hotels or houses on the lake. There's not a lot of space on the lake, so definitely that will be a big thing.
It will develop and it will grow, not as fast as other places have worked. I think that the government have realized a lot about the mistakes that they did in the north of the state, We learn slowly, but we have learned a little bit about what were the mistakes, and we are trying to not repeat those mistakes.
In Bacalar, the feel is different. For sure, I imagine that the develop will arrive, you know, but not in the same energy with Tulum, you know. I think it's different in Bacalar. I hope, you know, that will be different, and I'm here to protect it and to create a beautiful project because
I believe Bacalar can stay untouched and full of charm. There aren't many places like this left, but they do exist, and we have the power to protect them. Tourism will continue to grow, and I truly believe it can be developed differently, with respect for nature. After all, it's up to us to shape the world we pass on to future generations.